Hello, I'm Hal Lublin.
And I'm Mark Gagliardi.
Since the dawn of humanity, one issue has gone unsettled. With the fate of the world in the balance, we're here to settle, once and for all. Best place to eat a meal.
That's right. Don't worry, everyone. We got this.
Podcasts should have a theme song. Podcasts should not have a theme song. Yes, they should. No, they shouldn't. They sound good. Yeah, but people are just going to skip past it. You know what? You're right. We got this.
I actually got to use a Sublime lyric in real life today.
You did?
I did.
Did you say you didn't want any Santeria? What happened?
Hal, today at Universal Studios,
Yeah.
a family walked by dressed all in white. And we were commented on. We were like, oh, looks like it's picture day for this family. You guys look amazing. Whatever. Mm-hmm. Then the family leaves. And as we finish the set, Lauren turns to me and goes, I think that's actually a religious thing. I was like, what? She's like, yeah, there's a religion where everybody wears all white all the time. It's like a Caribbean thing. They might be practitioners of that religion. Let me look it up and see what it is. And she looked it up and she's like, it is, Santeria. And I went, oh, I don't practice Santeria. And I was so excited I got to use it in real life.
What a week for you, because you did that. And then you also met one of the people of the world at a hardware store, right?
Oh, wait, have we started the episode?
Yes. You didn't know?
Oh, we have. No, I didn't know.
We've been recording this whole time.
I thought we were just chatting.
6 months.
I did run into a person of the world at the hardware store. I was at Lowe's. I got so excited.
Yeah.
He said, Mark Gagliardi. I was like, yeah. And he said, we've never met before, but I listened to the show. And I thanked him and said, this is very nice of you. Thank you for saying hi. I love the idea of meeting people of the world in public. And now that it has actually happened, it warms my heart. So to you, Michael, I say hello and thank you. So let's talk about today's topic, shall we?
Yeah.
This one's
was
fun.
Suggested by Karen Mosteller Grantham, who I will now refer to as the Dowager Countess. That is your new name.
Hello, Dowager Countess.
And tighter. And title.
Yeah.
Or tighter.
Yeah. Whatever. Either way.
We like to come up with nicknames for things. Like instead of tighter. You got one of those titers? Like I'm the new Pauly Shore, I think. I'm filling a void because he's not coming up with new terms anymore.
It took me so long because I hadn't listened to Pauly Shore in a long time. Mm-hmm. And for the first time, I saw the Goofy movie. I had never seen the Goofy movie before. Mm-hmm. And the AV kid at Max's high school, I was like, this sounds so familiar. Who's just obsessed with eating easy cheese?
Sure.
It took me a third of the movie before I was like, that's Pauly Shore. Oh my God, it's Pauly Shore. Do you remember this movie?
I remember it existing. I don't know if I've ever seen the Goofy movie.
Here's the thing, Hal. I had not seen the Goofy movie before. I was kind of a Disney purist. I was like, I'll watch the Walt Disney Pictures, the official slate of animated films from Disney. This was Disney Toon or whatever the TV animation division was that made the Goofy movie. Ken just called me a Disney snob. Yeah, Disney snob. And I don't know why I waited so long. This movie, there's a reason this movie is a cult classic. There are so many absolutely unhinged moments in this movie. And you think it's Goofy. There's going to be unhinged moments. It is beyond unhinged, this movie. This movie it is so delightfully absurd.
Yeah.
Bigfoot's in it.
Oh.
A pop superstar named Powerline.
Powerline, yeah.
If we Eye to Eye. That's where Eye to Eye came from.
Yeah.
Yeah. What got us talking about this? We're supposed to be talking about meals.
We were talking about Lady Grantham and Pauly Shore. That got us here.
Oh, yeah, Pauly Shore.
Sure. I do want to point out that my resistance to the Goofy movie and Goof Troop was the Goofy that I grew up with, that I'm accustomed to, is the Goofy who's going camping or trying to work out with very old, at the time contemporary, but now outdated equipment and being slung out of his. I know he's still like the Don Knotts of Disney. You know,
yeah, this is Goofy's Apple Dumpling Gang.
Yeah, he's stumbling, bumbling still. But it's like, I don't want to know that he had kids. He had a relationship that resulted in a son who has
doesn't have his
accent at all.
Having sex.
It's just like, oh yes, my father's Goofy.
Yeah.
And not like, gosh, I'm a child. Like he's just the only one from the holler of dogs that Goofy comes from.
Goofy is singular, my man. Goofy is singular. And if you don't want to watch Goofy have sex, fine, but you're really missing out on How to Sex.
I'm not saying I wouldn't watch that. I'm not saying I won't watch the Goofy movie. I do have it like sort of, it's very deep on a to-do list of things to watch.
It is an absolute delight. But we're not here to talk about the Goofy movie.
Fine.
I know. I'm moving us on, Hal. We got to get going. We got to talk about our topic.
Lady Grantham demands it.
Lady Grantham asks, best place to consume a meal. Now, she only gave us 5 possibilities. I think there are many more than that. Maybe one of these will become the ultimate winner. In bed, at a table, on a couch, in a vehicle, or sitting on the floor. Now, these all, I think we can get more specific than this.
Yeah.
Because there are many different tables at which to eat a meal.
Yeah.
And there are many different ways and places. You know, you don't have, if you're sitting not in a chair and you are on the ground, you don't have to necessarily be on the floor. You could be at a picnic. You could be at the beach. By the way, the beach is not going to win.
Neither's a picnic.
No, you think that these are great ideas. You're like, why don't we take our food outside and just sit on the ground and eat them? Ants is why, it turns out.
And the wind.
And you find that out seconds into doing it.
Yeah, when that bite of salad helicopters off your fork and into the whirling tsunami of dirt and ants that exists everywhere. It gets windy it could be 100 degrees and just dead calm. And the second you break out the chips and you break out a tablecloth, it will turn into the Twister from the beginning of The Wizard of Oz. And that is Mother Nature going, not out here. We're all good. There's plenty of food out here. Just eat the grass. That's what the cows do.
You take your plastic gingham tablecloth and the 4 bricks you brought from home to hold it down on this picnic table and you get out of here, or to hold it down on this ground.
I also, when it's the windiest, that's when I see the people setting up those like tents where it's like, it's just like a canopy really. And
where it looks like they just leaned a giant umbrella.
Yeah. On the ground. It is a Charlie Chaplin bit every time because there are not enough people. Namely, I think you need 2 to really get that done. It's usually just one person.
It's the person setting up. No, I will say this. I think there are times when eating outside is an absolute delight, but I don't think that it is the actual act of eating that makes it the delight. Like a picnic is wonderful. It's not there's no ease to sitting down at that meal at a picnic, but there is joy in a picnic. I love a picnic dinner or picnic lunch at the Hollywood Bowl. My favorite thing to do in the summertime is go to the Hollywood Bowl early, sit at the picnic tables, have a meal, and then go watch the show. Mm-hmm. These are not places, sitting on the ground is out for me.
Yep.
Beach or grass, sitting and having a meal on the ground is out. By the way, the image of food helicoptering off of your fork. In my mind, it wasn't the wind carrying it away. It was flying ants that had just picked up whatever was on your fork. Yeah, that was what we were. Yeah. Okay. I just wanted to make sure we were on the same page. Yeah.
Yeah. Then they create a big arrow in the sky showing you where they took your food.
Yeah. I think there are only a couple of places where eating outside is in contention on this. And that is, you as a Philadelphia sports fan, I'm sure, have had an experience similar to this at some point in your life. I, as a Tennessee Vols fan growing up, certainly did. And that is, but there are very few food items that you can eat in this situation effectively. Hot dogs and burgers or any sort of bread-based sandwich thing is what you're going to eat at this.
What about when the ribs are broken out? Somebody's making ribs, Mark.
Somebody's making ribs. But we're, of course, talking about a tailgate. Are you a tailgate fan, Hal?
I love the concept of a tailgate. And to me, the tailgate is way more about the happening, like being part of the moment than it is eating. Like people will say, and they could be true, but I think this is what I think. People will say like, oh, there are no hot dogs quite like the ones you have at a tailgate, or it's the 100%. Best chicken or the best burger. And I think that has as much to do with location, maybe even more to do with location and the event, because you're all there together. You're celebrating. You're exciting. The game hasn't started yet. So as far as you're concerned, everybody there is like, we're going to win. Go Vols, go Eagles, go whoever. And it's not the food. It's the moment. And it's not a great place to eat food. It's a really fun place to eat food.
It's a really fun place to eat. Yes. It's a very fun place to eat food. That doesn't make it the best place to consume a meal. I'll go a step further with what you said, Hal. You said people will say the best hot dog you eat is at a tailgate. And I would say it's 100% because of the environment. Because you know what people aren't bringing? Gourmet buns and Kobe beef dogs.
Wagyu burgers.
Yeah, nobody's having Wagyu burgers at a tailgate. You're going to Costco, you're getting the bulk stuff, and you're bringing it, and you're laying it, probably still frozen half the time, onto that grill.
Yeah.
In the case of a burger. It's not the best burger in the world, but like, it's like you say, the most authentic and the best New York pizza slice are not the same thing. The most authentic New York pizza slice is not the best New York pizza slice.
Right.
The most authentic is the dollar slice you get while you're walking, which leads me to another one I have on the list, walking on the go, which would also be a burger or hot dog. Imagine all the joy of a burger or a hot dog or some kind of sandwich or a wrap or a pizza. You're eating it standing up while outdoors, but there's not a tailgate and there's not a game and there's no surrounding joy. Does that one win?
Mark, I'll tell you personally.
Yep.
This is what my days are now. Get up early, do the run thing. We talked about that. Now, during my lunch hour, I go on like a 5,000 step walk. I walk out and back. And part of that walk is to the Costco near me. I think you know the Costco I'm talking about.
Sure. Where you get the bulk hot dogs and buns and then you walk to the tailgate.
Oh, no, you don't get the bulk there. You go to their food court and you get the giant jumbo Costco hot dog with a soda for $1.50. So I get the light lemonade with that. This is today. This was today I did this. I was on the phone with Ken while it happened. He was aware I was eating something. I don't think he could have imagined it was a hot dog the size of a submarine, but I ate it as I was walking back. I was like, I don't have time to sit, time to go back. So I eat this hot dog like on the go, and I was happy to have eaten it because it tastes good, and I was really hungry. I hadn't eaten in a while, but I will tell you, it was one of the least enjoyable eating experiences possible.
I think walking is real low on the list.
It's by very nature, you're doing something. You're not really eating. You're multitasking, right? Yeah. You're like, I got to eat something, but this is really about, I got to go to an appointment. I got to go home. I got to go wherever I got to go, and I need to eat something. It's not a thought. Again, you're not getting the very best pot. Like, oh, I think I'm going to get Gordon Ramsay's beef Wellington and delicately enjoy it as I go. You can't have anything that requires anything other than holding it in your hand and stuffing it in your face.
You know, you bring up a really good point, Hal, and I think, and it's multitasking, because one thing that I've been trying to be a lot better at is not multitasking when I eat. That is a bad habit that I have, and it leads for me to overeating. In my opinion, by my standards, overeating or fog eating, if you've ever heard that phrase, where you sort of mindlessly eat and you're like, what did I just eat? I don't even remember eating, but I know I ate something. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I think that our winner of this is going to be something where you can eat mindfully. You know what I mean? Like you can have a meal. And if there is anything that you are multitasking and doing while you're doing this, it is enjoying a conversation with whoever you're eating with.
So then couch is out.
I think this might eliminate large swaths. I'll tell you, it's definitely out, even though the notion of doing this, to me, seems super efficient. And it's something that I do all the time. It's either something I'm doing that is brilliant or something that I'm doing that is terrible, considering how I would like to eat. And that's eating while driving. That's hitting the drive-thru.
Yeah, that's bad. I know.
You know what I mean?
It too. I do it too.
I do it constantly. I do it twice a week at least.
It's bad.
Stop and get something and eat while I'm driving.
Or eating in the parking lot. Just eating in your car in general. Nothing feels good about that.
Did I tell you the worst eating in my car experience I ever had? I'm sure I did, but I'll tell you again.
Tell it again.
So I was driving cross country, which I will say on a road trip, I've had many delightful meals in the car on a road trip. Yeah. Just chowing down on some fries while driving through the desert. Delightful. This was not one of those times. I was driving cross country. I had to make it to Dallas, Texas to crash at an acquaintance's house. And because it wasn't like a super close friend, it was an acquaintance. I needed to get there within a decent amount of time. So I was kind of crunched for time. I'd never been to New Orleans before, and I was driving through New Orleans, and I was like, I need to at least get some food in New Orleans. But I'm on this time crunch. I know I'll get some food to go in New Orleans, and I'll eat it in the car. So I go into some jazz bar on Bourbon Street. There's a band playing. It's beautiful. I order some food to go. I order gumbo to go. And I'm like, I'll just eat this in the car. Yes. Yeah. You can see where this is going. So I take my bag of gumbo. I'm like, this was great. The jazz was awesome. I get in the car. I start to drive. I pull out. I open up the gumbo. I have this big spoon in my hand, big plastic spoon, big tub of gumbo. I'm like, I can eat this and drive. And I open it up and all of the shellfish is still in its shells. So while driving, I'm trying to shell a crab while driving down the freeway after dark in a place I'd never been before. Eventually I was like, I can't do it. I had to pull over at a rest area, and in the dark of a rest area at night off the side of the freeway, sat and ate and cracked open and enjoyed as much as I could all of my gumbo. And all I could think to myself the whole time while I was sitting there was, this would have been so much better if I just stayed in that restaurant and eaten my gumbo while listening to delightful jazz music in New Orleans.
How old were you?
25.
Okay. I figured it started with a 20. That's for sure.
Yeah. That's such a 20s move. Yeah.
Maybe the cutoff for that. That might be the cutoff, because at that point you can still be on insurance, right? Or do you have to get off of your parents' insurance at 25?
You have to get off at 25.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're really feeling yourself for the first time, and all the choices you could make. The tender age of 25, Mark Gagliardi looks and goes, "Oh, let me get the messy soup."
Yeah. Why don't I get this gumbo? I could have gotten a po' boy.
Yeah.
Another classic.
Even that would have
meal.
been a mess to eat, but it would have made sense. It's a sandwich. It's handheld.
Exactly. You got to go, if you're in the car, you got to go handheld.
Or I thought it was going to be, I got beignets and chicory coffee, and then I look like a Coke, like a Coke head when I was done. There's powdered sugar everywhere. I went to the Cafe Du Monde. Like, I was thinking of the places you go, or it could have been like, oh, I went to the Commander's Palace and got a seafood platter, which you practically did. You just got a murky, like, hey, can you recreate the conditions of Dagobah in a cup and then just throw a bunch of dead fish and seafood in there for me?
Yeah, I like seafood, but I like my seafood to be in its natural habitat. I like it in situ, if you will.
Yeah.
So I'd like my seafood in a bowl of liquid. Oh, it's okay. I'll drive while doing this. No, it's fine. Fill it up to the top. Very top. There you go.
Yeah.
Now, if you'll excuse me,
I didn't pay
I'm
for you
getting
to
in the car.
skimp on this.
Yeah. I also showed up at this house with a lap reeking of seafood.
Yeah.
Reeking of seafood.
Sure.
Yeah.
And like every acquaintance does when they first meet you, they smell around your crotch like a dog.
Exactly.
So they can get the scent of you in case
they're
you
like, hey,
around the house.
like, oh my gosh, thank you for letting me crash here. Of course.
Like, oh, the Gorton's fisherman is here.
Yeah. What about a tree house?
No.
All right. Just checking.
No. And also not a space shuttle or the International Space Station, because the food sucks.
Oh, but
don't even tell me it's good.
Zero gravity. It's not good. We've all had astronaut ice cream. It's just a novelty, but it's
and it gives you gas.
Does it? Doesn't give me gas.
Because of the way, you're going to get gas. Zero gravity.
Why am I going to get gas?
Think about how things are moving around in your body. I'm pretty sure it gives you gas.
Oh, I thought you meant the astronaut ice cream would give me gas, not the zero gravity.
No, the zero gravity.
Yeah. How does peristalsis work in zero gravity?
I don't know. The human body's a miracle, and you fart.
I guess peristalsis is a wave. It's not gravity that's pulling it down. It is that motion.
It's everybody farts in space. That's my understanding.
Is this is the title of your children's book?
Uh-huh. I can't get a single publisher interested. I don't know why.
That's so weird. You'd think at least Urban Outfitters would publish that book.
The original title was What's That Smell? Neil Armstrong, which I don't think was as good of a title. And then I saw, everybody poops. So I'm like, I can do one better than that.
Yeah.
Everyone farts in space. And what do kids love? Space travel.
Yeah. One small toot for man, one giant blast for mankind. That's your book, Hal.
You just look to the stars and you imagine out there someone's going, excuse me. So.
Do you think that any astronaut has ever held the comms up to their butt and told Houston that they had a burrito?
Well, I've never been to space, so I know it. I can't say for sure it's happened, but I've got to imagine there's someone as weird as me out there that would think to do that.
Hal, can we talk about the fact that there are currently 2 astronauts who thought they were going to space for a week who are going to be coming back in February? It is currently August. They're coming back in 6 months. I cannot fathom thinking I'm going to go on a week-long trip to space.
Yeah.
And then they're like, you guys have got to be up there in space. I hope they filled their Kindles before they left.
Oh, yeah. There's no way they brought in. I don't think you pack. I can't imagine that the standard operating procedure is like pack as if you're going to be stranded for 6 months. I mean,
no.
More than 6 months. They've been there for over a month at this point, haven't they?
Has it been that long?
I think it feels like it. For them, it probably feels like years. But they're like, this is like the Gilligan's Island. This is the safest version of Gilligan's Island because they're not in uncharted space just floating around.
Yeah, they're at the International Space Station.
Yeah.
They're going to look like Encino Man by the time they leave.
Oh, because they didn't bring razors?
They didn't bring any of their toiletries. That was another big part of it.
You don't think people are going to share? They're the only 2 people there. There's nobody there, right? Somebody else is there.
I mean, there's going to be people coming and going, I guess, but they can't put them on. Like, can't you bring the minivan instead of the coupe? Like, come on, guys. That is a mean thing to do.
Yeah.
Ken says they've been there for 2 months already.
Yeah, so they'll have been there for almost a year, 3/4 of a year by the time they get out.
8 days became 8 months. Can you imagine if somebody said, hey, this thing that you're expecting to do is going to be 30 times longer than you're expecting? I hope they like each other.
It also is like the worst version of The Martian, by which I mean the most boring version.
Yeah.
Because they're not stranded on Mars trying to figure out how to survive. They're in the International Space Station because, was it Boeing? Whoever sent them there, like a faulty. They got there. They took like Piedmont Airlines there.
It was whatever. Boeing Starliner. Boeing Starliner took them there. And then they just announced, I guess, yesterday or 2 days ago, they were like, Boeing was like, we'll pick them up. And they're like, no, shut up, Boeing. SpaceX is going to bring them home, but they're not going up there until February. So they got to wait till February.
My Lord.
What if, they're going to miss so much. They're going to miss an election. They're going to miss the holidays.
The season premiere of SNL?
I mean, come on, man. Season premiere of Abbott Elementary.
Shrinking is coming back. They're going to miss that.
Gosh. They're not going to have to worry about The Acolyte. Too soon?
They'll be able to catch up.
Fair enough.
Might be too soon. Deadpool and Wolverine, they missed that.
Oh my gosh. All right. So we have gone through all of the outdoor possibilities.
Yeah.
And I don't think any of these are going to make it to the finals.
I think things that move in general, like planes, they're not fun to eat on, even if you're in first class. You just have more room.
Oh, yeah. We didn't even talk about planes.
But it's not good.
Let's talk about planes, though, for a brief moment.
Sure.
As a person who is meticulous and likes, the little tchotchkes and the little to-do of everything.
Yeah.
I do kind of love eating a meal on an airplane because everything has its place. Everything is the right size. And if you are sitting in a business class, which I've had the opportunity to do a couple of times, you even get like a little placemat and there's like
salt and pepper
shit. Yeah. It's very, and any long haul flight is going to have a meal in coach class even, but like there is something delightful about eating on a plane. And when I eat on a plane, I actually don't multitask. It's one of the few times that I don't multitask while eating because I enjoy all of the little accoutrements that come with it. But that's just me enjoying ephemera.
You just like to be a little fancy boy in the sky.
I like to be a little fancy boy in the sky. Yeah.
But it's not, the food is bad.
Not always. I've had some really good food in the sky.
I can't remember a good meal I've had on a plane, and that includes first class. And I'm grateful that I've gotten to fly first class before. Like, no, I'm not saying first class is bad at all. And it's cool to be able to eat a meal on a plane, but I don't go like, I gotta have that at home.
It's
like, I've never had it in any class on any plane.
I've liked many meals that I've had on planes, but I think I might be grading on a curve. The same way you watch movies on planes, the air's weird, so you cry more. Maybe the food I like better because I cry more during the meal.
Tailgate hot dogs in the sky.
Yeah. Tailgate hot dogs in the sky. Oh man, I love that Skynyrd album.
It's so good.
All right. So when we come back, we're going to talk about some indoor options inside buildings.
That's
with
right.
Chairs and tables and things.
Sorry, boats and trains.
Yeah. And automobiles. We didn't talk about boats. Roof of a yacht, not bad. Same wind problem though.
Yeah, but
impractical.
I've also eaten one of my favorite meals, which is prime rib in the belly of a ship backstage at Joko. And it was, and we were moving and I was like, oh, this is not, I can see how this would be. If you have any kind of motion sickness at all, this would be a nightmare. For me, it was fine. It wasn't even
also backstage at Joko, where the backstage is the absolute bow of the ship.
Yeah,
you're sitting in the point. Like, so you're going to,
but you're also lower in the ship and you're going to feel it more.
You're going to get a lot more of that.
You feel the movement more.
Man, you keep bringing up ones that I hadn't thought of, like planes and, and a train is a good place to eat too. Sorry, we're not going to break just yet. Too much movement. No, the club car on a train. Again, this is also, the food is crap. It's just
where all the gunfights happen. Every spy movie, that's where the fight starts, is in the club car. It's dangerous. People are trying to poison people. There are briefcases with plans inside them. There's some assassin that's showing up to take a shot at someone else. Always in the dining car. I'm not interested.
You're on the wrong trains then, man. You got to get on the Pacific Surfliner, the Amtrak. The dining car is delightful.
I would if it wasn't. It's so expensive, Mark. It's so expensive to take a Surfliner unless I'm taking it from like Los Angeles to Santa
Take it to Anaheim. Here's what you do.
If I'm going to take the,
what if the Phillies are coming to play the Angels?
I'll drive.
Phillies come to play the Angels. I'm telling you, the Pacific Surfliner is the best way to do it. You board downtown, you park downtown, you board downtown. The train station is at Angel Stadium. You take the train down, you sit in the club car, you have a drink, have a bite. The only thing about it that is going to make it not win, I think if you brought your own food, this could be a contender for the win for me. Is a club car on a train. I would have to drive
from where I am, Mark. It would make more sense for me to drive to Ventura and take a train.
That's true.
To drive downtown. You're closer to downtown than I am geographically.
But I'm also closer to Burbank. I could just take it from Burbank.
Like I have a wedding in Anaheim this weekend, and we it's on Friday. We're looking forward to it. It's gonna be great. Mm-hmm. But I got a hotel in Anaheim for the night. We'll drive down Friday.
Yeah,
we'll go there. We'll stay, have a good time, and we'll leave on Saturday. It's far enough out that like I just drive back and forth. I wouldn't take the train there.
Yeah.
Much as I love the idea of doing it, and Jennifer really wants to do it, I have a suspicion, she hasn't listened to the show, so I could say this, and she can't refute it, that her motion sickness would get the better of her in a long
on a train.
But I might be wrong. I would love to do that. She wants something she wants to do with her sister, so hopefully they'll get to do that at some point.
All right. I'll eliminate train, even though I do like it. You'd have to bring your own food for a good meal on a train, because the food is just like microwave burgers and stuff.
Exactly.
What about on the Polar Express?
No. Too many.
They got all those waiters.
Happening.
Hot chocolate.
No, I don't want to see that creepy version of Tom Hanks on a train.
Which one? There's like 5 creepy versions of Tom Hanks on that.
Exactly. I don't want to, I'm not interested in eating in the uncanny valley. Thank you very much.
All right. When we come back, we're going to talk about the indoor eating options in stationary buildings. But first, let's find out what else is happening on Max Fun, shall we?
Hello, Internet. I'm your husband host, Travis McElroy.
And I'm your wife host, Teresa McElroy.
And this is a promo for Schmanners.
It's extraordinary etiquette.
For ordinary occasions. Every week, we're going to tell you about a bit of culture, a bit of history, how etiquette still applies in the modern day, all that stuff.
We also love to do biographies and histories of and, general procedurals, how to do etiquette in today's society.
So, come check it out every Friday on MaximumFun.org or wherever you find your podcasts.
Manners Schmanners. Get it?
My name's Doug Duguay, and I'm here to talk about my podcast in the middle of the one you're listening to. It's called Valley Heat, and it's about my neighborhood, the Burbank Rancho Equestrian District, the center of the world when it comes to foosball, frisbee golf, and high-speed freeway roller skating. And there's been a Jaguar parked outside on my curb for 10 months. I have no idea who owns it. I have a feeling it's related to the drug drop that was happening in my garbage can a little over a year ago. And if this has been a boring commercial, imagine 45 minutes of it. Okay, Valley Heat, It's on every month on MaximumFun.org or wherever you get podcasts. Check it out, but honestly, skip it.
These are the chronicles of the Rancho Equestrian District in Burbank, California. These are the events taking place in my house, around my house.
Okay, where do you want to go first? You want to go the home or the restaurant?
Well, we've done restaurant. We've done booth or table before.
We have done booth or table before. I think we can further specify because I look at restaurant and I go, I think there's a few options. There's the patio. I love patio at a restaurant.
I do not like eating indoors. And that's partially probably left over from pandemic, but also partially because we live in a city where you can eat outdoors all the time. So why not do it?
Yeah. I know I said we were going to stationary buildings, but we are now moving outdoors at a stationary building. Yeah. The patio of a restaurant is delightful. Yeah. And let's go back to this. So are you eliminating indoors in a restaurant as a possibility?
No, I'm just talking about my personal preference.
Gotcha.
I'm saying I prefer to go places where there's outdoor eating, and then I prefer to eat outdoors.
I love eating underneath Edison bulbs. Nice? Right?
Yeah, those big old
string lights of Edison bulb. It makes your food look good. It's the right amber color to make any meal look great. And whoever you're sitting with looks great, and you look great. Everybody's sitting there looking great, and the food looks great. Grab a bottle of wine, sit out there. I sit out there for hours. Only thing is, the seating indoors in the restaurant is frequently a lot more comfy than the seating outdoors at a restaurant. Because, if it gets rained on, right? You got to have furniture that can get rained on.
If you have a nice covered patio.
Yeah.
There's some places that will go out here that they have a front patio and then a back patio. We didn't even know there was a back patio until we went one time, but it was so windy and cold that like the guy was trying to secure the flap and it like flew away.
Yeah. You frequently get a great view at an outdoor patio at a restaurant, but I think you bring up something. Weather does become a factor.
It can.
For your
if
flaps.
It's not fully covered. That's a problem. You need heating lamps if it's cold. Those are things that
you can mitigate.
And we're assuming, and the good thing is in a restaurant, the quality of food is the same, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's going to be the same.
You're getting the same food inside as outside. You're not getting anything different. It doesn't take longer because you're outside versus inside. So I would rather, especially like since we're in summer, anywhere urban setting, like New York City Cafe, I'd rather sit outside.
Yeah.
Here, if we're in a more rural setting, I like sitting outside because you're out in sort of direct nature and you get to enjoy that. So I would say if there's a patio option, a viable patio option, that's the way to go no matter what, even like an enclosed place. A lot of places during like 2020, 2021, 2022, and I think they've kept this, have done in fact, there is a place near me. It's like a steak place. We both want to go. We haven't gone yet. They have a whole outdoor area and they've done like the rolled plastic on the sides. So it's all weather and it gives the feeling of being indoors, but is also outdoor. You get all the benefits of being outside. And I love that.
Yeah. I'm going to further specify within this.
Do it.
Within the outdoor patio restaurant. And I'm going to get a little New York centric, I think. Not necessarily, because there are a lot of great ones in LA too. And I'm going to say specifically the roof. A rooftop patio.
The roof?
I prefer a rooftop patio restaurant because of the view.
Oh, if I'm in like a shopping center, like a nice outdoor, like one of those places, I like to be out on ground level watching people walk. I like to see all the activity happening there because it keeps me like in the middle of stuff. I do love a good rooftop place if you have a really nice view. I don't have a problem with that. I don't favor it necessarily because I don't think I've had as many places that are rooftop feels a little bit more
You never lived in New York, but you lived in Philly. I guess there's not as many.
I did, but we didn't go to a lot of
suburban
places
Philly,
that I can remember being rooftop.
Yeah. But patio to restaurant is pretty high up there. The only type of restaurant I think I would prefer to eat indoors instead of at the patio. And I'm going to guess that I know how you would feel about this type of dining. Simply based on my knowledge of how much you enjoy wearing a suit. And that is fine dining. I'm talking white tablecloth, that little crumb scrapey thing, like super fancy. I don't think I would want to do super fancy fine dining outdoors.
I want to be near the window for that.
Yeah. Sit by a window. I want to be
near the window and I want to have a view. Yeah. I don't want to be in the center of the room. I enjoy a fine dining experience on occasion. It's very good. that's a fun experience in and of itself. And generally those places don't really have outdoor seating.
No.
Or if they do, they're trying to make it the equivalent of their indoor experience, in which case, not a problem. But if you go to Hawaii, you never want to eat indoors, whether you're dressed up or not. You want to be outside experiencing. It's like you're missing a moment in Hawaii by eating inside.
It's funny. You and you've spent more. I've never been to Hawaii before. I know you like being out in nature. I like being out in the bustle of a city. I feel that way about when we went to Hong Kong. For me, it was, I would just want to eat every meal sitting out at the little tables at the night market in Hong Kong, because that's where all the action is. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah.
So yeah, I think, man, if we're looking at restaurants outdoors on a patio table at a restaurant, I think that's number one right now.
Yeah. There's a great place out in, if ever you find yourself in Westlake Village, there's a place called, I think it's The Social. I think they're known mostly for their alcoholic drinks, but their food menu is also great. And the majority of that place is a really nice outdoor, like you want to go there to be in the outdoor area because it's so nice.
Yeah. Look, man, if you've got a great outdoor space at your restaurant, that is because that brings together all of those things that we were talking about earlier, things that are great, like the good elements of eating out, the good elements of a picnic.
Yes.
Minus all of the headaches of a picnic.
Agreed.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's a patio at a restaurant.
Do you want to, before we do the final adjudication on this, because there aren't really many other places. I feel like,
we haven't gone to the home yet.
Let's go to the home. You want to talk about showers and baths now? And get it out of the way? Because this has like become my podcast personality, is that I ate a pie in the shower one time and then wouldn't shut up about it.
You know what's funny, Hal? I did take a few notes just beforehand, just to have some thoughts down and some places that I wanted to make sure to hit. I wrote down home, and then I was writing rooms in a house, and my hand started to write bathroom, and then my hand stopped writing bathroom, and then I remembered who my podcast partner was, and then my hand continued writing bathroom.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for respecting my personality and my need to eat pastries anytime, anywhere when I'm hungry and my wife has not yet woken up. Daddy's got to eat. And that's a quiet place to do it. And you might as well let the crumbs go down. Look, it's ingenious. I think I was very smart for doing it. I think the mistake that I made, and if you're new to the podcast, we went to Australia and did Thrilly Adventure Hour. Jennifer wasn't up yet. I bought this is in Wellington.
Yeah.
At the Cuba Street Market, I think is where it was. I bought a little mini apple pie that was in our fridge, and I was very hungry. I had no idea when she was going to wake up, and I wanted to wait for her to have breakfast, but I needed to eat. So I decided I'll eat this pie. It's going to make too much noise in the main room. So I go into the bathroom and I realize I don't want to get crumbs everywhere. I will eat this in the shower. The crumbs will go down the drain, and I will eat it. I'll throw it away, and no one will be the wiser. I never have to tell anyone, because this is not like I wasn't like proud of myself for the act of it. But I was like, this will go to my grave with me. I will not tell anyone. And then within 90 seconds of Jennifer waking up, I was like, I got to tell you what I did. And I knew, I was like, well, she's my wife. She's my partner in life, my best friend. And I will tell her this, and it's fine. And then I was like, that's it. And then I think I told everybody else. Yeah. I must have told you very quickly after.
You told me very quickly thereafter.
Multiple, like Good Morning Night Vale, we still get letters that mention shower pie. So that is a major part of who I am. That is what that is.
Hal, I know a lot about you.
Yes.
I knew that you ate a pie in the shower.
Yeah.
That was, I think, the extent of my knowledge of it was that you ate a pie in the shower. So the image that I have of you eating a pie in the shower is different from what you just described.
Correct.
So let me ask you two questions.
Yes.
And you can answer both of them together, because I imagine the answer will be the same in either direction.
Great.
I think I've been thinking about this whole pie in the shower thing wrong.
Okay.
It wasn't that you were naked and the water was running and you were taking a shower?
That's correct.
So you were not.
No, I was like, I should run the shower while I'm eating and then like turn away so the water's on my back. I'll have nice warm water on my back. and I'll eat the pie, and then the crumbs will go into the tub and wash down the drain.
Okay. So you were, in fact, I was correct. You were, in fact, naked in the shower with water pouring on you while you were eating a pie in the shower. That's correct.
Imagine a Zest commercial, but instead of Zest, I'm eating a pie.
It's pie.
Yes.
No, I get it. Okay. I wanted to make sure, because the way that you just described this, you made it sound perfectly reasonable that you were like, no, I'm just going to go in my pajamas, sit down in this dry bathtub, eat my pie, and then when I'm done, I will run the water and run it down the thing. You decided that the best thing to do was and this is why shower's not going to win. Because multitasking.
I turned it into multitasking. Even though it started with, I'm going to eat this. I'm going to eat this in the bathroom. I don't want the crumbs to get everywhere. I'm going to eat this in the bathroom in the shower. So I'm going to run the shower, and then I will just take a shower, and I will eat this pie while I do it. And there were not enough crumbs that this plan needed to be enacted. Like I'm pretty good at eating stuff and not getting it everywhere.
So you didn't really have to do this.
Yeah.
Why? Let me ask you this. Why didn't you just open it in the bathroom? So the loud parts, because a pie is not particularly crunchy or noisy. You could just open the packaging for it and then come back out and sort of silently eat it in the room part of the hotel room.
First, you remember how small the rooms were in that hotel. They were not large.
Yeah.
They were very nice rooms, but not huge.
Sure.
Second, my dear wife, who I love so much, is a light sleeper.
Mm-hmm.
Like she is, the earplugs are in, a noise machine is on, and still easily woken. So that would have woken her up. I needed to enact my best stealth skills to consume this pie, not knowing how long I would have to wait to eat. But I knew I couldn't take a chance of not eating it all, because then there's the wake up, then there's the stretch, then there's the let's talk a little bit, then there's the, I'm going to shower. And then there's a whole lot that could happen before eating. And it's not fair for me to get into a bad mood because I've eaten nothing when I could fix that by getting naked, getting into a shower, and allowing the warm water to cascade down the back of my head, neck, and body while I eat a small hand apple pie.
I have more questions. Was part of the reason for running the shower in case Jennifer woke up, she would hear a shower going and wouldn't think, where's Hal? Why do I hear chewing? She'd be like, okay, well, obviously Hal got up early and is taking a shower. Look, I get it. I've gone into a hotel room, sat down on the throne and turned that water on. Just to mask the sound.
No, in no way was that the intention. It was really like, wouldn't this be the most efficient thing to do? It is morning time. I'm a morning shower unless I'm excessively sweaty or dirty, in which case I will shower in the evening, and I'm going to eat. I know I'm eating. I know I have to take a shower. Yeah. So I can get those done at the same time and then be ready to eat again.
Okay.
In New Zealand.
Cool.
I
appreciate you taking us all on this journey.
I'm always happy to openly answer questions about these things. This is all, by the way, if anybody thinks any of this is a bit, 100% true.
This is absolutely true. I can tell you. Yeah.
Yes. So nothing in the bathroom. That's too multitask.
Did you, let me ask, how multitasky was this? Was this were you finished with the pie before soap and shampoo were introduced?
Yes. So it's like, all right, we did it. It's washing down the drain. Now let's turn and do. I know. I wasn't like,
it wasn't like the leave condition. The right hand. Yeah.
Okay. No. This was done in stages. This was like a rocket launch. We had
cool.
Pie stage, then drain stage, then wash and rinse stage.
Okay. Well, you know what? You're basically the world's only rocket scientist of shower pie eating.
Hey, I know I've told this story before of being out with the JPL folks at South by Southwest and getting dinner. Yeah. And them saying like, let's get dessert first. Enough people did that. And I was like, can you do that? But we're supposed to eat everything else. And then
rocket scientists, dude, they can do whatever they want.
Yeah. They were like, no, why is that the way we do it? Do it this way. And so I think, that's guiding my life now, is knowing that we don't have to do what people tell us we have to do when it comes to where and when we eat our small hand pies that we buy at the Cuba Street Market.
Amen, man. But the multitasking of it means it's not going to win.
Correct. I would never, I've not done it again. I'm not interested in doing it again. I'm glad I did, but the need will likely not arise again. If the call came, I would answer it, but would not be my first, second, or third choice.
Sure. All right. Let me ask you this then. We do need to start narrowing it down a little bit. I think we can break this into a series of binary questions, potentially.
Okay.
So we're at home. If we're eating at home, best place to consume a meal at home. We are indoors or outdoors at home. Is the experience of a home patio meal the same as the experience of a restaurant patio meal?
No.
Or does it come with too many? Comes with too many of the more bugs. I guess
the citronella candles and stuff don't work. Like, I think restaurants are much better at, like, we have to attract people to come here and eat outdoors. So I think that requires a different mentality than when you're at home. You're trying to make it as comfortable as possible, but it's not, it's more picnicky. Let's eat in the backyard. Whatever it is, it is.
Yeah. All right. I do like a backyard meal at home though. All right.
Yeah. It's not, none of these mean we hate them. It's just not the best.
Yeah, no, it's not the best. A patio restaurant meal is better than a home restaurant meal.
Way better.
I mean, a home patio meal.
You don't have to clean up.
Yeah. If you're eating in one of the dining areas of the home, do we go, you know what? I'm going to save that for last. Table and chair or breakfast in bed?
Table and chair.
I think you're right. I think breakfast in bed is a great idea and it's very sweet and it's a fun novelty.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the most efficient way to do it. It's not the most conducive way to do it. If you move slightly in the wrong way, it's usually breakfast, I think, that you have in bed. If you move slightly the wrong way, that coffee is getting tipped over. And it also feels like, I feel like if I have breakfast in bed, I'm not going to do much that day. You know what I mean? That day is like, if I've eaten a meal in bed, this is not a day that I'm seizing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So my final question within the home is, do you eat at the kitchen island or the dining room table? If table and chairs are the in-home victor, do we go dining room table or kitchen island?
I would rather eat at the dining room table. If there's a kitchen table, we had a kitchen table when I was a kid. The dining
kitchen table, kitchen island, I'm putting the same thing.
Kitchen table sat 6 people.
Yeah.
So that was enough. And that was like where we ate our meals because it's a little bit more informal. I like that better. We don't have a kitchen table here.
Sure.
We don't really, if you tried to eat at the counter, you'd be sitting on 2 stools side by side. We have a nice dining room table. It's fun to sit around there and talk to one another. Like, you want to be able to, like, we eat a lot of our meals sitting by the TV. More than we should. More than probably either one of us would like to. But by the time we get to a meal, we're tired. It's our time where we're multitasking again. We want to watch some TV together. We also have to eat. We don't have the time because we're both going to get exhausted doing one after the other. So we combine them. But when we eat at the table, we have more conversation. We're looking at each other. It's always better to be sitting at a table. What about you? How do you feel?
I feel the same way. And I would put, I didn't even mention the couch and the TV because the multitasking of it. Also, usually the coffee table is too low. If you're sitting on the couch, the coffee table is too low to be a dining table. And I have way more spills.
Yeah.
But I think between the kitchen island or kitchen table and the dining room table, I like that little bit of elevation that the dining room table gives it. There's a functionality, like the kitchen table is also where you do your taxes. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
The dining table is for one purpose. It is mindful. It is sitting down. It's eating. It's where special occasions happen. It's where holiday meals happen. It's where when someone comes over, that's where you sit. And, that's where company goes. That's when you bring out the good china. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I think inside the home or at the home, even, because I don't think patio because of this is necessarily going to be the victor. Though I don't dislike the outdoor patio dining at home as much as you do. I don't think there's a bug problem generally. I do think that you can set up, I think you can have some of the best, most memorable meals of my life I have had at outdoor patios at homes having a meal,
Yeah. I just don't think it's better.
Yeah.
Memorable isn't better.
That's true. That's true. I think our two finalists then are patio at a restaurant and dining room at home. So what are the criteria that we can look at with those to separate them? Dining room at home has special occasions.
You don't have to go anywhere.
Familiarity. Yeah.
You have complete control over the environment.
Yes. And also responsibility over both the environment and the meal.
That's the other side of it, right? Is you're doing the cooking or you're ordering in. So you could do either there, actually. You can enjoy restaurant food at home at the dining table. Lord knows we have done that before. Even on my birthday, I was like, oh, I want a steak from whatever steak place is nearby. And then you bring it home or have it delivered and then you plate
I don't think it's
it
ever as good though. That the in transit, I think, screws it up. A steak is not so much because it's got to rest anyway. It needs that like 5 minutes at least to rest, but
depends on what you get and how far away it is.
I guess that's true. Fries, never successful. I've never had successful delivery fries.
You have to clean up no matter what. You're cleaning it up.
Restaurant, you don't have to clean up.
You do not have to clean up. But you do not control if there's a couple having a fight next to you or a family with a family member, like there's some group and somebody's really loud, either talking or they have the loud chewer, or they're a loud laugher, or somebody's not turned their phone off and it's really loud. Like I'm not saying these,
but you want to be part of the, you said you wanted to be with the people. You said you wanted to be with you. If you want to be, you've got to take the good with the bad.
And
if you want to be, exactly. If you want to be in the world, in the environment. Yeah. But another thing we haven't talked about where the home version is going to absolutely win on this, and that's cost. You're paying for the real estate, but this is best. That's what we're looking at is best. And if you want the best real estate,
consuming the meal, right? So
it is about consuming the
part of it.
Where's the most best place to consume a meal. Yeah. I think it's got to be the patio at a restaurant.
I think so too. Yeah.
Now I want to go to the patio at a restaurant with you. That was the last time we had a meal together was at the patio of a restaurant.
I got more patios to take you to.
Look, I'm coming out. You sent me a link to one the other day.
Oh yeah, you gonna go there? You gonna take Annie there?
I'm gonna call you and go there.
Are we gonna go there? All right.
I'm not taking Annie. No, I'm taking you.
All right. I'll go.
You're taking me, right? No, you're taking Jennifer. I see how it is.
I would take you. I would happily take you. We never think of that stuff though, because we live far enough apart. I never think like, oh, I'm heading out west. Let's see if Mark wants to go, but maybe I should. I'll take you to a good pizza place.
All right. I'm ready. Don't threaten me with a good time.
We still have to go have pizza with Acker too.
By the way, if you're heading west, that's what you did last time. You were like, come out this way to eat. I was like, okay. You're like, we'll meet at this place. I was like, great. Is it halfway? You're like, no, it's even further west than my place is from you.
I was honest. I told you it was great. Was the food worth it?
It was really good. It was a sauce you can only get in Italy and this other place. Yes, you have a question.
Exactly. Yes.
You just raised your hand.
No, that's the robot. Zoom has a question, which is, what is the best place to consume a meal? And people of the world and this robot hand that is ominously over my head as if it's going to smack me and hopefully will go away in the next 5 seconds or so. The best place to consume a meal is a place that can connect you with the nature, can connect you with other people, can connect you with a city or area that you're in. It allows you to experience the elements without being prey to them necessarily. There are always comforts there to help you feel better. And you don't have to clean up when you're done. On top of all of that, it's eating on the patio at a restaurant, asked and answered. Boom. Thank you, Lady Grantham.
Yes, Lady Grantham, thank you so much. This topic is delightfully and deliciously closed. But there are many more topics to discuss, so please reach out to us via email at wegotThisPodcast@gmail.com or
find us on the socials at We Got This Podcast, with the exception of Instagram, where we are at We Got This Show. And of course, our Facebook group, where you can talk about your favorite meals and where you've had them. Facebook.com/group/We Got This Podcast. Thank you to producer Ken Plume, researcher Kate McManus, graphic designer Uri Kelman, and QA engineer Jen Alba.
And thanks, of course, to our musicians, Jonathan Dinerstein and Mike Furman, for our score and theme song, respectively. And thanks to you, the people of the world, with whom we would love to sit in any of these places. Yes, even out at the beach having a meal. Maybe not at the beach having a meal. We'll get sand in it. Well, I'd tailgate with all of you. Now, you know where I'd definitely go with everybody here is the club car of a train. We could have that big action sequence and the people of the world could all be like on rappelling it. Anyway, We would love to have a meal with you. Thank you for sitting and having a meal with us every week. If you're having a meal when you listen to the show, it does feel like a dinner conversation. That's how we started this show. That was the notion, was arguments you have sitting in a diner. So, best place to eat is, regardless of where it is, it's with the ones you love. And to you, the ones that we love as this podcast, I say, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. For Hal Lublin, I'm Mark Gagliardi.
For Mark Gagliardi, I'm Hal Lublin, and don't worry, everybody. We got this.
We got this.
Maximum Fun,
a worker-owned network
of artist-owned shows
supported
directly
by you.